I even remember telling people I would never train for speed. It's not for me. It was the fear talk. And so I knew that if I was going to grow at all, I had to beat that fear. I had to at least try. I have to respect my body and myself for what it takes to become a bigger, better version of me. And the reason that this matters so much is because I never thought I could do it. And once I do it, it'll obviously be on to the next thing, but it's going to be a massive milestone for me. I'll continue to find and fight for in myself. Another cookie in the cookie jar, another piece of evidence to give myself in the court of Jonathan is capable. But the point is showing myself that you are not allowed to put a cap on your potential. And that's what this Sub-3 marathon represents. Marathon running for me and running in general has been this journey of overcoming every doubt that I ever had about myself. As an athlete, as a person, as a professional, making the choice to get up, put on shoes, and go outside in freezing cold, in super hot weather, regardless of the hours. Making that choice deliberately has shaped me into someone that does things that he does not want to do, but knows that he needs to. In not just the physical elements of my life, in every element of my life. I've eliminated excuses in every element of my life that I could feasibly think how, and started to figure out what direction I could take myself in to solve for X, to prove to myself that I am capable, and to deliver on outcomes that feel unrealistic. Because running has taught me to unpack every limiting belief that I have for myself. Sometimes that's distance, sometimes that's speed, but whatever it is, running is not a field that I can ever fully conquer. The distances and speeds will always improve. It's a matter of having that internal conversation of, okay, I'm going to stop after the next one. No, for real. My knees, no, for real. My heart, no, for real. My mind. As long as running shows me, and it does every single day, even if I run the same hills and I run a different distance and I'm exhausted or I'm energized, running is a commitment to showing up. Running is a commitment to being a better me. That's not something that I can really put a price on. I just know that the cost is something I can't afford, because if I stop showing up, if I don't make the hard choice, I signed up for the Toronto Marathon thinking, why not? I ran the New York City Marathon in 3 hours and 18 minutes. My goal was a 3:30 on my best day. I managed to get in 8 to 10 mile runs a couple times a week, with one 20-mile run in that 8-week span. A month after that, I figure, well, what if I try to go sub-3? Me? Sub-3? Kid who got cut from these teams? Kid who couldn't finish a mile? Kid who doesn't have any background in speed? Hamstrings hurt? Ego hurts? All these excuses manifesting and populating in my mind and body? Me? Run a sub-3? Nah, that's reserved for super athletes. That's not me. I don't want to train for speed. I could never. I even remember telling people I would never train for speed. It's not for me. It was the fear talking. And so I knew that if I was going to grow at all, I had to beat that fear. I had to at least try. So I hired a coach. We had a conversation. I told him my goal. I told him where I was at. We knew we had 70 days. And he said, all right, we'll start tomorrow, run 12. He said, I can't tomorrow. My wife's going to kill me. But Monday, we will start. Please don't take this as a reflection of my dedication, but I will give you everything that I have. We just have to start on Monday. We gave me a program, and in 70 days, I went from a 3:18 marathon in November to running a 3-hour marathon in 39 seconds in Toronto.
3 hours, 39 seconds, 26.2. We wanted sub-3, but we got pretty close. Cut over 18 minutes off, a marathon that I didn't train for. I put in the time, and it's hard not to be proud of yourself when you give everything you got. Something, you feel it, I feel it in my body, and I'm proud of the effort. It's definitely moments that you're like, could I have tried harder? Could I have pushed further? But ultimately, you got to be proud of what you can put forward. And today, is this what I had? This is what I gave, and I'm going to remember this day forever. I'm excited to see what's next. Sub-3 is still in my sights. 40 seconds, we can get that. Light work. Toronto Marathon, 3 hours, 39 seconds. Let's go.
And now, because I missed it, I'm going for it again in Chicago. And it's been hard. In my previous Sub-3 attempts, a few things went wrong. And a couple things that I would do differently. At one point in my training, when it started to become realistic that this was feasible, I don't want to say that I got entitled or I took things for granted, but I definitely got comfortable. And that comfort removed my edge. With all of the mindset tips and tricks that I know, with all of the physical accomplishments that I have, it was my body giving out, and my body felt it the whole day after that. And me getting comfortable meant that I didn't fuel properly, where the second I've had it, I realized the difference in my performance, that I wished I had taken it at every single station leading up to it. I didn't pace myself in the beginning. I ran a 1:29.5 and I was feeling good. And I didn't save that energy for the second half where I could have used it. And maybe it slowed up by 30 seconds to a minute in the first half of the race, and then in the second half pushed it like I initially planned. So those are a few of the things that didn't go my way, that were within my control, that I could have changed, that I believe would have altered the result. And ultimately, do I believe that I'm gonna have and I also experienced cramping in my left leg, which right now what I'm doing in my training is making sure that I focus on the areas physically, training them. For example, split squats, or even when I squat, I make sure that I have an extra focus on my upper quads so I can make sure that they're strong for when race day comes. And then also whenever I do any quarter-mile sprint or an 800 or a 400, that I'm picturing the end of the race, pushing through that last bit. I remember after I'd finished the the 3-hour marathon, the next day, I woke up and I ran 4 miles. And all of that pain, more pain than I felt even during the 58-mile ultra, where I had felt surprisingly good after. I ran that next day so my body would remember that pain. You and I also both know the body can't exactly physically recall pain, but the representation of not punishing, acknowledging that I'm someone who can endure, giving all of my energy to an endeavor, and showing up to the best of my ability, that is really what it's about. Not complete about this experience, but not hitting that sub-3 hour goal. When I finally saw the finish line around a corner, and then people were coming in from the half marathon version of the race that I was running from the opposite side, it was all just one big hodgepodge and confusing, but it didn't stop my effort. No excuses. It's not what it's about. I got the notification on my phone saying 3 hours, 39 seconds. And I for sure thought I had missed it by like 2 or 3 minutes. So one part of me was pleasantly surprised, and then the other part of me was pretty distraught. And it's this weird tension where a few weeks earlier, the feasibility, my A goal was a 3:05. That's what me and my coach had talked about. And then once the 3 hours started to become realistic, it was, oh my God, this is possible. Go for it. And so this weird tension of something that's impossible but possible, it's right within your grasp, but you can't touch it yet. It's so weird to sit in that tension. I just remember feeling like, oh my God. It was this competing energy of, I had it. You also did better than you ever dreamed of in your wildest dreams. And now here I am, feeling not entitled to the Sub-3, but knowing it's going to be mine.
Going into tomorrow, body's feeling okay, not amazing, but it's better than nothing. The work's been done, running through pain, nothing new. At this point, you just gotta trust the process, let the adrenaline kick in, put one foot in front of the other, trust the fitness, have a lot of belief, and have fun. I always have to remind myself to have fun on these things, like some real serendipitous moments. Like, it's the little things you have to take solace in. Like, we ran into a track. We had no idea it was here. Makes it easy, right near the water. We got our hotel room early, flights on time, land early, all the little things. And all these little things add up. So, Sub-3, it's in my sights. Now, it's just execution.
Sub-3.
Because that's the effort that I'm willing to put in. That is the mindset that I choose to embrace. And if I miss it, I'm coming back again. It's the same thing that I told myself after I finished the bar exam and before I opened up my score a few months later. If I have to take this exam again, then I will take this exam as many times as I need to. But I really hope I passed. And I've been taking in a lot of content around Michael Jordan and his 6 championship teams, Kobe Bryant and his 5 championship teams, reading Phil Jackson's book, watching his interviews, going back watching The Last Dance, reading Tim Grover's book, who is the trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, understanding the relentlessness that comes along with being great, what that sounds like, what that feels like, and creating this mental board of advisors and high performers in the basketball arena that are effectively operating as my mental toughness coaches, my mindset coaches, to help guide the internal dialogue of saying, I don't have to love this. I just have to show up. And every workout has been grueling so far. The easy ones, the hard ones. But I know that when it comes to any type of greatness, the difference between being iconic and legendary is that one's about being great and that one's about being the best. And I'm chasing being the best. Not being the best runner of all time. Being the best Jonathan of all time. Through the first couple weeks of training, what I've been struggling with the most is the motivation. It has been lower than it's ever been. Yesterday was kind of a turning point because I love giving myself proof of doing something difficult. A couple weeks ago, it was a marathon, but that didn't scratch the same itch because I probably should have taken the time to recover. But I wanted to keep my body used to the mileage, to the endurance, and in hindsight, it's cool to say that I ran the marathon, 2-mile loop at a local park, and I got to run across the finish line with one daughter in one hand and another daughter in a stroller, and it was one of my more badass moments that I've had as a father. And doing a couple 100 reps when I came home, like, all of that feels fantastic. The pain points right now is that the motivation has been lower than it's ever been in my entire career of doing these things. I always felt like I had something to prove. I don't feel that I have something to prove right now, and that has made my mental edge that chip on my shoulder that I usually carried gone away. A lot of the expectations of me being able to perform at a high level have gone from me being an underdog to now this is the status quo. And so that narrative has disappeared, for myself included. I don't see myself as an underdog anymore, and I don't hit that goal, but that was my mistake. I didn't think big enough. I should have thought 255 the first time, but I didn't have the courage. And finding that mental edge has always been about people not believing in me, but now there's this expectation of he can do it in his sleep. I have to go and carve out super difficult circumstances like 3 a.m. workouts or 4:50 a.m. runs to show myself that, hey, this is who you are, man. And you have to prove it to yourself every day. The way that I've gotten over the lack of motivation is taking one workout at a time. Simply doing one thing at a time and showing up. I don't want to do this, but if I look at the training 3 weeks from now, it's not going to inspire or motivate me. It's going to detract me from doing the thing that I need to do today or tomorrow. Telling myself on the day of the marathon is to let the work talk, let the work show. Because when you do the work, you cure the anxiety through the preparation. And as long as I'm prepared and I don't take anything for granted, I take care of my body, I take care of my mind, and I just show up regardless of how I feel, and I do the work, the result is going to be mine.
You did better. Not what we wanted, but improvement's important. I'm hurting in places I never usually hurt, cramped up in ways I never usually cramped. So staying mentally centered and calm, that's probably one of the things that I'm prouder of in this experience. Body's definitely a lot more pain than usual, and I had to deal with a lot more things than I usually do, but I also perform better than I ever have. A lot of it's just staying calm when these things happen, and today I'm definitely proud of that effort. So 3 hours, 15 seconds, we're not there yet, the story goes on, so I guess you're just going to have to keep following along, but one is you never quit, and put it in, you definitely proud. So Sub-3, not that I, but pretty pleased.
I didn't hit my goal. It's not a secret. It's also not the end of the world, and it's also not indicative of how this thing is going to end up. Maybe the 3rd, 4th, or 10th time is what it's going to take for me to achieve this thing. But right now, I'm dealing with something called osteitis pubis, which is effectively inflammation of the pubic bone and the associated areas, along with the adductor ligaments, tendons, probably more accurately. I've been doing a lot of dry needling, physical therapy, contrast therapy, magnesium baths, hypervolt, as in percussion therapy, and how consistent I am with each modality, I would say I'm aiming to do something 1 to 3 times a week. And it's any one of those options that I have just outlined. So it hasn't been the smoothest process trying to overcome this particular injury. It takes a while. The average timetable is anywhere between 4 to 6 months. I'm past the 4-month mark at this point, but it only makes me hungrier. I know that there's a lesson for me in this. I just have to figure out what it is. And you can really only do that when you take time to step back, zoom out, and understand why am I actually trying to accomplish this thing. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep trying to fall short. Ultimately, for me to be able to achieve my desired outcome, I'm going to have to strategize. That means taking a step back from running. My volume's gone down over 50% since the Chicago Marathon. I've done a couple 7-mile runs. I'm probably doing between 20 to 25 miles a week. I probably have to scale that back down to maybe 10 to 15 miles, which is very frustrating. But at the same time, because I can hold more, it allows me to go deeper in different areas. So not spending 8 to 10 hours on the road per week running definitely gives me more time to focus on things that I care about. Writing, reading, researching, speaking, training, teaching, and all of these things that give me so much fulfillment on a daily basis. At the end of the day, the amount of growth that I can tie to this process of trying to run a sub-3 twice in 1 year has given me more return on my investment than I could ever offer. Even with all the physical setbacks that aren't allowing me to mentally let go from this goal, I'm not giving up on it. I am putting it on the shelf until I can get to the next phase that will allow me to train for this thing at 100% capacity, which I know if I can, I will achieve. So yeah, I didn't get my goal and it sucks, but I'll be back and I'll be better than ever. These were some of the things that were on my mind training for a sub-3 hour marathon. If you got any value out of this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Jonathan Cohen, and this is Inside the Inspired.